so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses. Oh, wait a minute, we're moving too fast. Let me go back. He says, the ministration of death. Why on earth? He's talking about the law, the Mosaic law. Why would Paul call the Mosaic law death, or the ministry of death? All right? And one of the things we have to remember about what God's law said to man. God's law was the gift that God gave to man, a revelation of what his will was. Here is what I want you to be. Now, one of the unfortunate facts about that is that when man realized what God wanted, he realized he's under condemnation.
That's right.
Man ain't giving God what he wants. Not only that, he really isn't capable to do it.
That's right. He was not.
Yes, Paul had this revelation. He had this understanding. He explained it to the Romans. That which I would do, that which the law tells me is good to do, and I have a heart. I got saved. I got a heart to do it. I can't do it. I don't do it. That which I would not do, that which I know is abhorrent, I know God hates.
Come on.
Something, there's a law in my members that drives me to do it. I'm in a fix. Paul said, wretched man that I am. Wretch. Who will deliver me? But he had a deliverer. He knew about it already. He said it's the administration of death. It was engraved in stones and was glorious. Nonetheless, even though the ministry of death, it was glorious. So that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away. Now maybe here, I'm going to trust that some people are wondering what's that thing about Moses' face, and that's why we're going to go take a quick look. We got to go to Exodus chapter 34. Because I had to run the reference then. I said, oh, yeah. All right, I'm running the reference now. Exodus chapter 34. Still wrong. The record reads from the 29th verse. And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the two tables of testimony in Moses' hand. Now watch it. He came down from Mount Sinai with the two tables of testimony written in Moses' hand. This is not the first time he came down. You remember the second time? This is the second time he came down with the two tables. So the first time he came down, the people were acting crazy. They had stripped off their clothes. They ended up having a festival. They basically acted all wild, worshiping the golden calves. And you remember what Moses did? Moses threw down the table, broke the table, just like they had broken God's law, just like they had broken the covenant. But those who know, this is just a nugget. It came to my own mind. This is just a nugget. You know, it's easy to break something that you did labor on. That's right. Now Moses had to engrave the second tablet. Right. God's finger didn't write it anymore. Moses had to do it. And he held on to it when it came down this time. Not so easy to just drop those when you had to do the work. That's just a nugget for me. But he came down with the two tables. And the verse continues, when he came down from the mount, that Moses wist not, that's what Moses knew now, that the skin of his face shone while he talked with the Lord. Moses had a physical reaction to his time from the Lord. He was in the ministry of the law. The law was being received by Moses. He was just a stenographer. He was just a record keeper. He's just writing down what the Lord says. But he's having that face-to-face time with the Lord up on Mount Sinai. And there was a glory that was being bestowed upon him, and it started to make his face glow. But he didn't know. He didn't look in the mirror. He didn't know. He didn't know what had happened to him physically. So he came down from the mountain, and it says, and when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold. Now I like that word. I like, behold means see. Behold. You gotta get the picture of it. Behold, the skin of his face shone. And I have a feeling that they pointed to it's Moses. And he's shining. And they were afraid to come nigh him. They backed up from Moses. They had to take a step back. The man he's reflecting like something's wrong. And don't get critical of the children of Israel. Don't get critical of them. Because you know yourself, if you were coming in that door, coming tipping in, maybe a little late, Elder Clark start coming down the stairs to the pastoral study. He's been in face-to-face time with the Lord, and there was something shining on his body, and his face was shining out. You be stepping a little bit back too. You be saying, hey, Pastor, something wrong. You know, it must be radon. It must be some kind of danger out there. You gotta be careful. You would feel the same way because it was something unusual. They, in their natural men, were afraid. They were frightened by this. So Moses didn't understand what happened. And Moses called them to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation. Then they returned unto him. And Moses talked with them. Now, I think he had a little conversation. What happened? What's going on? Why are you back in the way? And they explained what physically happened that he could not see. And afterward, all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all that the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, this is the key verse, he put a veil on his face. So Moses was concerned about the reaction of the people. He was concerned that this was a distraction to him. That when he came down from Mount Sinai, he was glowing. And this made them uncomfortable. Even though they had stopped backing away, even though they came when he called, he was afraid that they weren't going to listen, that they weren't going to pay attention. I need them to hear what God says. So I'm going to put something over my face.
Yes.
I'm going to hide the glory. I'm going to obscure the reflection. I don't want this to distract them. And so he did that. He really did it in love. He did it in love for them. He was trying to meet their needs, what he thought, what he perceived to be what they needed. It says on the 34th verse, but when Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he took the veil off. You have a veil when you're talking to God. You want the face to face. You want that experience. He had to take the veil off until he came out. He came out, he spake to the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone, and Moses put the veil upon his face again until he went to speak. So he's got this procedure that he's going through. He's got this exercise. I'm going to face the Lord directly. I'm going to soak in everything that he's telling me. I'm going to receive of his word. I'm going to receive of his law. But then when I go see the people, I'm going to put a lampshade over my head. I'm going to put a basket over my head because I don't want them to be put off by the reflection. That's the situation Moses is in. That's what Paul is alluding to. And he says, now the ministration of the law, which he calls the administration of death, was so glorious that it caused Moses to shine.
All right.
But he's not going to make a comparison. He's going to make a comparison here. He says, if that's the case, how shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious? For if the ministration of condemnation be glorious, much more doth the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory. For even that which was made glorious had no glory. It had no glory in this respect. And the natural example came to my mind. I keep telling my son, he's a natural born athlete because he has athleticism in his blood. He has a mother who was a literate athlete in high school. And then he has his father who is slow of foot. And so the natural example came to my mind. If you took me, and I think some of the men would know, and you take Adrian Peter, the running back, Minnesota, and we were on a track. Now, if you said, Joe, run that track, and I ran it. Now, I could run it maybe about 4 or 5 times faster than I can walk it. That's true, RJ. I could run the track probably about 4 or 5 times faster than I walk it. It would look like I was running, because I can put them up and put them down. I can put them up and put them down. I just can't move fast. But I can put them up and put them down. It would look like I was running. All right. But if you told Adrian, run with Joe, that speedy little brother went zooming around the track. He'd be going so fast that he'd make me look like I was.